Is there a place that feels like home that even if you've never lived there?
I think that I kind of felt that way about the Pacific Northwest. I like to work with scientists and stuff, and so I was saying, like, who's researching something cool? Like, what's going on in the PNW? Let me know what you're looking into. And everybody was like, oh, salmon, 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 salmon. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should be more clear. I don't want to do a salmon mural. And everybody was like, dude, you're gonna do a salmon mural. Even the trees are big because of the salmon. And then the trees hang over the river and like shade it so that it's the right temperature for their eggs. And like, I'm like, okay, if the trees are involved, then I have to pay attention. I was talking shit about salmon. You can't talk shit about salmon out here. But I was, because in the Great Lakes, they're introduced, they're not native, and so they're a problem in the Great Lakes. And so I have this like Great Lakes bias. So grateful that robots don't know how to paint walls yet. Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. So how did it start?
Murals.
Yeah.
I had an existential crisis when I was living in New York, and I realized, like, because I was super broke and I couldn't afford to go into all the art museums that I like wanted to be in or whatever, because I was young and I thought I was going to be a famous artist and shit. And I don't know, like, I had a lot of buddies who were homeless, and I just hung out with broke people all the time. And so, like, it felt weird to make art that was supposed to go in a place that none of my people could even, like, go into or hang out. Like, basically art put away behind a paywall. Mm-hmm. And in New York especially, like, fine art is a lot of art that's by rich people for other rich people. And I was just like, it's all fucked. Mm-hmm. Like, art is like the last good thing, I thought, but even that's fucked. So I thought for a while, I thought I was gonna stop doing art altogether, but I didn't know what to do because it's all I had ever really done. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. So I moved back home to Michigan after being gone for a couple years, and I just ended up in a lucky situation where I met a friend who was a muralist and who was putting on a mural festival, and he had me apprentice with him. And it was kind of like a mind-blowing situation because my buddy Dustin, the muralist, is like all into the accessibility stuff, like public art being for everybody. And I was like, oh, there's a way that I could do art that doesn't exclude anybody, and I get to be outside all the time. So it was like kind of a perfect thing to discover.
So yeah, with your beginnings, what's your earliest memory of making something?
Usually when I talk to a kid, what I tell them is like, every kid draws, and the only difference between a grown-up who is an artist and a grown-up who is not is that one of them didn't stop drawing. So it's like, I don't think you learn it.
So you believe in fairies is what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, it's like, we all have it. It's just some people quit doing it. I don't know why. But like, I'm not any better than any of the other kids who were drawing. I just didn't stop drawing. So my earliest memory of making something, I don't know, like, you're just always doing stuff when you're little. Yeah. You're just always scribbling on stuff.
Crayons and
yeah,
books.
I got in trouble for drawing on walls all the time.
Okay. Now you're getting paid to do it. Was creativity encouraged growing up?
To an extent. Like, everybody was always excited that I could draw good, but I still got a lot of, what are you really gonna do? Like, what's your real job gonna be? Because you can't do this. And I don't even know if I had an idea of a real job. I think I always just figured that I would figure it out.
Yeah.
And I did. So for me, it was like creativity was encouraged, but sort of with strings attached, where it was like it has to be financially successful to be legit.
Gotcha. When did you realize creating wasn't just a hobby?
Well, we kind of talked about this yesterday. Like, I sort of think that creativity should stay a hobby. Like, I get paid to do this, but this is like not what I consider the art from my soul or whatever the hell. Like, this is my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really lucky to do something that's so fun and like take some creative energy to do, but this isn't like what I feel like my like most profound art making practice is all about. This is kind of just like, oh yeah, this is like a cool way to spend my time and make a little cash. So I think that creativity should kind of stay a hobby if you want to stay creative, because once you get paid for it, then it's your damn job.
Don't want to lose the spark.
Right. I make a lot of stuff that is terrible. And the only reason that you can make terrible stuff is if you aren't afraid that somebody's going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't remember who said this, it's some musician, but they said like, you have a cup full of ideas, like a cup of marbles, but all the bad ideas are at the top. And to get to the good idea at the very bottom, you have to pour out the whole cup. Mm. So it's like, you gotta make a bunch of bad shit in order to get to the good thing at the bottom. And if you're too worried about making a good thing, you're just not gonna get there. Like, you gotta go through the bad stuff first.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
So the why do you create?
I'm kind of on I'm trying to go crazy. So I'm trying to be like a good old-fashioned madman. And what I've been doing lately is talking to trees and stuff, which I don't personally think is very crazy, but like, whatever. The machine, dude, wants you to think you're crazy. But, okay, so I like being in nature. I've been like getting better, I think, at speaking with like non-human life forms and just asking about like, where are they coming from? Like, what wisdom do they have to share? How does my relationship to the world around me change over time, just like it would with a human relationship? And I think that at this point, I'm mainly making stuff to try to communicate what I hear from the natural world to other people who might not be as familiar or like well practiced or even like feel like they have access to nature. So it's sort of a like a translation project where if I can try to make stuff that gives off the same feeling or things that I learned when I was like talking to a river. If I can put that on a wall or in a book, then maybe somebody who hasn't been to that river can also feel like they talked to that river. So like this mural is actually like, I got it from the Skagit River.
Okay.
So like, I always say like, she gave it to me. I just like I really can't make stuff anymore that's, I mean like I can make stuff off the dome, but I much prefer to feel like I am collaborating with the rest of the world on something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess I'm doing this shit to try to give back to the world that has given me and everybody everything.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that don't experience the natural world as it is.
Yeah.
You know, like call it red pill, blue pill if you want. I think stuff like this is great because it definitely reminds us just a little. It's a very loud but soft reminder that it's out there and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that murals are an especially good medium for trying to make environmental education more accessible because they're situated in an urban environment where people may or may not feel like interested in nature. It's a little bit different here in Bellingham, but like where I'm from in Michigan, a lot of the people who live in the city don't even like go out and don't experience all of the crazy unique stuff that we have right there in Michigan. They might not even know it's there. But if you can put up a mural that kind of points in the direction of like, if you just drive 30 minutes out, you're gonna find this like endangered species that's nowhere else on Earth. And they're like, what? Is that true? And I'm like, yeah, it's true. So it's sort of like with murals being in this urban environment, it's kind of meeting people where they're at, where it's not realistic to expect everybody to just like want to go out into the woods because there's access stuff, there's like disability stuff, there's like racism in a lot of environmental spaces. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is. So it's like pretty stupid to just be like, oh, people just have to get outside. You gotta like give them the tools or make the introduction, I guess, to stuff that they might find outside on their own turf so that maybe eventually later they might not even remember that they saw a mural about like this endangered thistle. But if they're ever out there and they see the thistle, they'll be like, oh, for some reason, like I feel like I already know this guy. And so you have a little bit more ownership over the world around you, not in a colonial way, but in a responsibility way, like a family member, like you have ownership over a family member or a responsibility to them. So yeah, that's kind of how I think about it.
What does creating do for you emotionally?
I'm not living right if I am in a big dry spell, creatively or artistically. I just don't feel good. It's like when you don't exercise for a while or something and you're just like, why do I feel like shit? Mm-hmm. Like my whole body hurts.
Stiff.
Yeah, you're stiff. It just sucks. So it's kind of a, like, selfishly, it's just makes me feel good. But I think sort of spiritually too, it's like the way that I feel fulfilled and like I'm using my life for a good cause.
What part of yourself shows up in your work that doesn't come out anywhere else?
I actually think that I am pretty good at being being kind of the same as the stuff that I make.
Okay.
Like, I think that the stuff that I make is sort of wonky and a little weird, but also like kind of helpful, kind of educational. I like that it's sort of masculine and sort of feminine. I think that it would feel weird if I made stuff that didn't feel like me. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So in the nature element, I know you walked 700 miles in the PCT.
Mm-hmm.
What if thousands of miles outside taught you about yourself?
I think that spending more and more time outside just shows me more and more how rich of a relationship you can have with the world around you. Like, I'm always talking about how the most important relationship in my life is like technically not with my partner and not with my mom or my brother or anything. It's like with the world, and knowing more about the world and the rivers and the trees and the fish and the stars and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera is like the longest relationship of your life besides with yourself, I suppose. And so it feels like something that is really genuinely like evolving and interesting, and like sometimes we get along really great and sometimes I fuck up or like we're not on good terms. Like, I've gotten into a big fight before with Douglas fir, and that wrecked my life for like a month. But being outside more and like walking more just really throws a light on that, because you're really like living together. It's like you move in with a partner or something and you just get to know each other so well. Like, when I was on the PCT, I got to know the plants of the desert way better than I ever have. Even though I spent a ton of time in the desert, it was like a whole new type of knowing them, because I would not just see them on like a day hike and be like, oh, that's a cool plant. It would be like day in and day out, I keep seeing the same guy over and over again, and I'm like, okay, I might as well learn your name. Like, we might as well get acquainted because I'm gonna keep seeing you. And so like it felt like a very up close and personal way to deepen my relationship with a lot of the different people out there. People meaning plants.
Okay. Is there a place that feels like home, that even if you've never lived there?
I think that I kind of felt that way about the Pacific Northwest before I first came out here, where it was kind of like a fabled place to me because I knew that it was somewhat similar to Michigan climate-wise, but just a lot bigger. And so when I first came out here, I had all these big expectations for how it was going to be. And every time I come out here, I feel like I get my ass handed to me about all the stuff I don't know. Like, one time it was Douglas fir, and another time I was talking shit about salmon. You can't talk shit about salmon out here. But I was, because in the Great Lakes, they're introduced, they're not native, and so they're a problem in the Great Lakes. And so I have this, like, Great Lakes bias of, like, oh, not salmon again. Like, I don't want to talk about salmon again.
Really?
Because for us, they're out-competing our native species. So they're, like, not a good thing in the lakes. But here, obviously, they're, like, the whole freaking reason for the season.
They're basically aliens where you came from, abducting, freaking just taking over.
Yeah. So, like, one time I came out here to do a mural, and I was, like, asking around for, I like to work with scientists and stuff, and so I was saying, like, who's researching something cool? Like, what's going on in the PNW? Like, let me know what you're looking into. And everybody was like, oh, salmon, 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 salmon. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should be more clear. I don't want to do a salmon mural. And everybody was like, dude, you're gonna do a salmon mural, because the salmon is the star of the show. Like, everything you do, even if you try to not do a salmon mural, it's gonna be a salmon mural, because they, like, literally created the whole world out here.
That's
and I was
hilarious.
like, no way. And so then I went out to that spot on the Skagit for the first time, saw some of the salmon running, and I was like, got my ass handed to me. And I was like, damn, it really is all salmon all the way down here. Where it's like, even the trees are big because of the salmon. And then the trees hang over the river and, like, shade it so that it's the right temperature for their eggs. And, like, I'm like, okay, if the trees are involved, then I have to pay attention. So that's how I ended up doing only salmon murals out here.
That's awesome. Do you think nature changes people or simply reveals who they already are?
Whoa. I think that we view ourselves as something other than nature, and we can go visit. We can, like, go on a hike or go to the lake or whatever. And you, like, it's funny to me how people can be, like, nature guys or not. Like, some people are not into nature, and I think that's so crazy, because, like, we are nature. Like, everything about a human person evolved to live on this planet. Like, we can see more colors of green than any other color because we evolved on a green planet. So we can see what's ripe and what's not ripe, and what's, this shade of green is slightly poisonous, but this shade of green is slightly edible, or whatever. Like, we have our eyes for this earth. We have our lungs for this atmosphere. We have our hands to, like, climb these trees, and, like, our legs to carry us across these savanna landscapes and all of this different stuff. And it's like, everything that we're doing is so that we can be alive on this earth. And to not be into it is just like, you just forgot where you came from, dude. Mm-hmm. It's like, I think that there's, especially in America, like, so much leftover colonizer mentality where it's like, this is all here, so it's all mine. And have you ever read Braiding Sweetgrass?
No.
By Robin Wall Kimmerer? She's an amazing Potawatomi biologist and educator, and she talks all the time about asking permission and, like, having a back and forth relationship with the land that you're on. So that doesn't necessarily mean you can't use your fifth wheel, but, like, you should be prepared to ask a landscape, like, is it okay if I bring this thing out here? And be very genuinely prepared for the answer to maybe be no. Like, if the answer is no. It's just no. And that's like a relationship that you would have with a friend is you can't expect them to want to hang out with you all the time, or like sometimes even if you're like, I'm obsessed with you, I want to hang out, like let's do something, they're like, hey, I need some space, or like, no, you can't keep using my fridge or whatever you're doing. Like, you can't keep taking from a friend without giving back to them, you know? So I think that appreciation for the natural world is like well and good, but we also need to start talking about reciprocity, as Robin Wall Kimmerer would say.
Okay.
Like the push and pull, the back and forth, the like, it's not a one-way street type of thing.
So with walking, do you think differently while moving?
Yeah. I'm actually so pissed because I hurt my foot and I can't really take a long walk right now. And I don't know, like, it's the only way that I can get any good thinking done, it feels like. I think that I also really enjoy walking. Like, I like driving too, but walking is so great because you're going so slow. You can really like see what's around, and even like a bike. You're still kind of like, you got momentum going on a bike. With a walk, it's so easy to just stop and be like, whoa, that's weird. What is that? That's a weird bug. That's a weird plant. It's no big deal. You just take your damn time. It's awesome.
Have you ever solved a problem simply by taking a walk?
Yeah, I basically feel like that's the only way I can solve a problem. Like, I think that there's 3 meanings of life. 1, hanging out. 2, getting up to something. 3, taking a little walk.
Okay.
And anything worth doing falls into 1 or more of those categories.
Categories, okay. So what does walking give you that staying still doesn't?
I think it's just like, I think it gets you out of your head and into your body. And in the 21st century, we're way too in our heads. Harder to look at phone when you're walking. And is like a literal change of scenery a lot of time. And I love a walk because you literally never know what you're gonna find. Like, even if you take the same walk, if you walk to work and you take the same way every single time, you still don't know. It's gonna be different every day. Maybe on Monday there's like a little bird's nest that fell out of a tree. And then the next day, somebody dropped like a cup of ramen noodles on the ground, and you're like, oh wow, a tragedy occurred, or whatever. Like, the next day, maybe you bump into somebody that you haven't seen in a while. Like, you can take the same walk, and it's still like a surprise every time.
So with the van life, you have a pretty sick van set up. What's freedom mean to you?
I really love living in my van because I love not paying rent to somebody who I think is evil, and I basically think all landlords are evil. And I think there's like very few opportunities left, basically, to sort of enjoy a sense of freedom. And I think that like vehicle dwelling is included in this. Like, there's a lot of fucking places you can't park overnight, but it's at least a little tiny remnant of every day is something different. You got to make your own choices every single day. It's not like a guarantee like living in a house is. I feel like you don't really have to make as many choices when you live in a house because it's just like, oh yeah, my house is there, my stuff's in my house.
You're kind of anchored down.
Yeah, I know where I'm gonna sleep. I know I have to do these chores. I'm like, I do chores too. I gotta clean my house right now. But like, it keeps you a little sharp maybe to always be like, okay, where am I gonna sleep tonight? Where am I gonna dig a hole to go take a shit? Like, I think it's just like nice to be connected to the world with some basic needs stuff that you take for granted a lot when you're in a house. Like, it's a pretty big deal when I can actually cook myself a whole dinner because it's kind of difficult to do. It's a big deal if I have a really awesome poop because it means I did a good job on my hole.
Man, what do you say that? We have a bidet at home, and I love that thing.
A bidet is awesome.
It is supreme, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm not saying that like house life is not good and fun. I like being in a house sometimes, but I think it would feel, I don't know, I would just like kind of lose the magic of some stuff.
No, I definitely, because I lived in this big suburban for almost like about half a year.
Yeah.
And I miss it so much.
Yeah.
Granted, like when you have a kitchen in a house, that's pretty awesome. But like, I'll take eating sardines and some crackers and some cheese in a suburban or in a van over having all the other obligations you got to take care of and maintain, and when you're living in a house.
Yeah.
What have you given up that you're happy to live without?
I really love not having stuff. Like, whenever a buddy has to move, I'm always like, you got too much stuff. And everybody feels it when they're moving. But even just like going to my mom's or something, it's like, girl, you have so much damn stuff and you don't even see it every day. Like, I really loved being on the trail and having like basically like 8 things. And you knew for sure if you had all your stuff because it was really obvious if you didn't have one of the 8 things. And it was just like, okay, everything that I have is something that is important or makes me super happy or both. And I basically feel that about the van, where like there's not a lot of stuff in there that is not something that I totally love. And I have shit that's useless and it's kind of stupid. Like I have a big mouth Billy Bass, but I have to have that because I love it.
So is owning less made room for more?
Yeah, I think that if you have fewer things or just kind of live simple, it's just less shit to worry about maybe. Like, I don't really get wound up over like, I don't know, like I almost never buy new clothes. And I got some buddies who are always just like shopping. It like sounds so like, this is not like a revolutionary point at all. It's like a very boomer thing to say, even like, oh, everybody nowadays just shopping on Instagram. Genuinely, though, we don't need to be shopping on Instagram.
Right.
We don't need that much stuff.
So creativity, where do ideas come from for you?
I feel like nowadays it's like just a lot of listening and noticing the stuff that you're interested in. So, like, when I'm outside or in nature, it's like I do a lot of talking to trees and rivers and mountains and stuff. And I feel like listening is the best way to go about that. And then with being interested in stuff, if I read a good book or like learn something new, and kind of just like taking that interest seriously too and seeing where it leads. I'm drinking paint water, sorry.
That's the good stuff. So with ideas, do ideas feel discovered or invented?
I think definitely discovered. Like, I think even if you feel like you came up with an idea, you could totally trace that back to something else. Even if you're not like some nature hippie like me, you are informed by everybody who's come before you, every thinker who's come before you.
So it's almost like one of Newton's laws, that energy can't be created or destroyed.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's just all there.
Definitely.
Okay.
Like, you basically just rearrange stuff. Like, none of the stuff that I'm painting is new. It's not even new to, like, paint on a wall. It's like, there's been cormorants on walls before. There will be again. But I'm just arranging it in such a way that, like, tells this specific story, and even the story is not new. But it has been painted by me, so it's just, like, always kind of remixing stuff.
Almost even like on a molecular level, like all these molecules were here on this earth, but now they're up on this wall.
Yeah.
Like,
I like to think about,
cool.
with the molecule stuff, too, like atoms. You know, they say, like, before the Big Bang, everything was, like, in a little dot as big as a period or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to think about how everything that's around us, we used to all be that close together. So whenever you meet somebody or, like, see a tree or, like, it rains on you or something, it's like you get to see these atoms that maybe you haven't seen in, like, 4 billion years or 13 billion years. Yes,
That's
it's always
cool.
like a reunion.
That's cool.
It's like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. Oh my God, look at this.
Long time
We're
no
all
see.
rearranged.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking amazing.
That's awesome. I like that. What's your relationship with failure?
I'm bad at it. I actually, like, I know that it's good for you and stuff, but I really hate failing. I hate, like, when something's not working out. And I know that eventually, like, I'll learn a lesson from it and shit. But, like, I would just say that I failed the PCT because I had to get off with an injury. And, like, it was an injury that maybe I could have prevented. And so it wasn't just, like, a freak accident. It was, like, I probably should have listened to my body better.
I think I remember one of your highlights was saying, it was like, Lord willing, I'll go from Mexico to Canada or something like that. You said something
certainly
like
not in Canada.
You said something like that.
Yeah.
You're very close though.
Well, yeah, but I drove.
True.
So I did not walk all the way up here, and I wanted to. So I feel like I failed, and I kind of just feel shitty about it right now. But I'm sure that there will be a lesson down the line, and I guess I'm, like, old enough to know that the lesson is there, I just don't see it yet.
Mm.
But I'm a bit of a stinker when when things don't go the way that I wanted them to go.
Are you the oldest child then in your family?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit, that's funny. I'm the youngest. So
Okay, so
I'm
you're
used to
chill.
failure.
Yeah, dude.
That's hilarious. What was that?
Let's finish this bad boy. I think I just gotta do this. Cover that up, paint some more dots on it, and then do my name.
Hell yeah. How do you know when a piece is finished?
Oh, it's whenever the time is up. And when I have to give the lift back.
Okay.
Because I could keep working on it. If I had like unlimited time, I probably would. There's a bunch of stuff that I don't like, but sometimes you just gotta be done.
So when you mentioned art still being a hobby, if time was not important, that it becomes that energy where it is a hobby and it's... Or do you feel like it stays, like you have a boundary where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm done now?
I guess I am kind of, I'm okay at not being a perfectionist. I think I would rather something be done than have it be perfect. So, I don't know, it's arbitrary. Just depends when you're sick of it.
Okay.
Maybe when you're like ready to do something else, that's when it's done.
So with that being said, has perfection ever held you back?
It's definitely made me a lot busier than I need to be. Like I run a Mural festival back in Michigan, and I'm really picky about how that goes. Like, I really want other painters' experience to be positive and people to be paid well and shit, so I spend a lot of extra time on that, making sure that it's like not just a mural festival, but like one of the best ones that people have done. But I don't know, I think that it pays off. Like, perfectionism isn't always a terrible thing. I don't know.
If someone saw your murals, what would they miss about you?
I guess, I don't know if people would miss when they look at my stuff. I'm really gay. And I don't know, like, I don't really make gay art. Like, there's some people that make gay ass art, and I don't really. But I feel like the nature art that I make is pretty gay for nature art. But that's just because, like, I know myself and know, like, my own, where I'm coming from and how I think about it. But, like, I see queerness as sort of a more than just like who you're attracted to, but also kind of like a worldview where being a queer person, I think, just makes me more creative, better at seeing things from different perspectives, better at not caring what other people think about you, I suppose. So I don't know if people pick that up from my stuff, but like, it's definitely a reason why it is why it ends up looking the way that it does, I think. I definitely don't think that being queer makes you like automatically a thoughtful or compassionate person. Like, I don't think that there's anything magical about queer people. However, I do think that, especially trans people, like, we're really good at, or just like, maybe not even good at, but have to be pretty introspective in order to figure out who you are, especially when there's like so much riding on you not figuring that out. There's like a whole spectrum of like visibility and stuff, and obviously like black and brown people are never able to like not be black and brown. Sometimes queer people, like if you're like a cis gay man, you're pretty privileged. You have a lot going for you. But if you're like a trans woman, or especially like a black or brown trans woman, then you've got like a whole host of people who have some shit to say about you. Like, I was like pretty selective about when I was on the trail. I didn't really tell anybody and just sort of enjoyed like people not knowing. But also, like, sometimes I would feel really weird about people not knowing, and knowing that I was getting treated differently by these guys who are treating me as just like another one of the guys who's been a guy the whole time. It's not a big deal. But knowing that, like, you know, I hear them talk about women or something, and they don't know that I have experience in that vocation. And it's just like an interesting place to be in, where like I have a bunch of privilege of being able to sort of like not be out sometimes. But then I'm also like, I wonder if maybe I should be more out. And then that makes me think about, like, with my art too, like, I think it's, I don't really like want to make stuff that's super explicitly gay art or whatever, because I think there's other things that I find more interesting. But I wonder whether it would be helpful for somebody to see a nature thing that they really like, and they're like, oh wow, like a transgender painted that nice bird. Like, I think about conservation sort of as like a great middle ground for that reason, where it's like we have all of these old school rednecks who love hunting and fishing and drinking beers with the boys, and then you got like me and all of my freak friends who also love hunting and fishing and drinking beers with the boys. Mm-hmm. And so, like, if you can get those two groups in the same place, especially caring about a similar cause, like, oh my God, they're gonna log this forest, or they're gonna pollute our river or whatever, it can be a really great way to encounter somebody like on the other side of the fence and be like, oh, we relate because you know a lot about birds and I know a lot about birds. But it turns out, like, we're in disagreement about some other things, but then that person is a person and not just like a scary transgender that you heard about on TV.
No, it's funny because, you know, the same people that are going to go on their phone and see a post with a flag and complain about it are going to be the same people that are going to pass by this and be like, that's badass.
Right.
So, with that being said, how does that make you feel? It's almost like this is your, it's your...
my Trojan horse.
Yeah.
It's like a different, you're encountering somebody in a field where you relate to each other. And I think that sometimes when we are like approaching each other just as like oh, well, I know how you voted, so I'm going to come at you with all of my opinions and thoughts and beliefs and stuff. Yeah, like, I'm ready to have an argument. That's not a good way to meet people. Like, I really love talking to some old fart who I'm pretty sure would not agree with me on some very basic things about my identity. But, like, I really enjoy those conversations because, like, if we ever were at a point where we were hanging out and liked each other, then I could say, like, okay, so surprise, now you know somebody who's in this community and you like me.
Yeah.
Like, I did that, not like I did that as a grand master plan, but I had that happen on the trail a couple times where I just made friends with some old fart, and it just came out kind of naturally that, like, I'm trans, and he was, like, shocked, and he was like, what? That's so crazy. And I'm like, it's not that crazy. Like, and I'm not the first person that you've met. You might just not know it. But, you know, like, it wasn't even really a topic of conversation because we had already talked about all these other things, like philosophy. Do you believe in God? What's your family like? Like, why are you hiking the PCT? Like, what do you believe in? Blah, 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 blah. Like, we'd covered all this ground, and then it was just like a side thing because it was relevant for some conversation we were having. And now he, like, knows a trans person when he thought that he didn't know anybody. And so I don't know, like, I don't know if he's gonna go home and, like, vote any differently, but he'll at least, now he at least knows.
And not only that, but there's more than what our phones and our TVs are telling us.
Yeah.
And, like, so, like, with that being said, like, do you feel like it's important to stay informed with news?
I think that it's pretty busted right now. Like, you gotta remember how much of, like, media companies' profit incentive is in making people mad, and social media too. Like, they want you to get upset and freaked out and scared. And so it's, like, not always a very trustworthy source. Yeah, like, I basically, the news that I stay up to date with is usually, like, conservation stuff.
Nice.
And because that's where I feel like that's the field that I am the most involved in and that I can do the most direct good. And so sometimes it doesn't even feel helpful to stay up to date on everything that's going wrong, because it's like, yeah, there's, like, a lot going wrong that I don't agree with and that I would really like to fight, but, like, we all just got to do something. This administration's, like, game plan is to overwhelm everybody with so much fucked up shit where it's like, okay, we're mining in the national parks, and also you can't have an abortion anymore, and also, like, we just rescinded this fucking marriage equality law or some shit. Like, all of these things happening all at once makes people, like, paralyzed. And so kind of where I'm at is just trying to, like, do what I can in the field that I can be most helpful, and trust my fellow community members that they're doing that in their fields as well. Where it's like, we literally can't all be throwing in full force to every single issue that's important. And that can feel, like, really frustrating.
Reflection, what are you most grateful for?
I feel so lucky to have, like, the resources and the privilege to sort of drop out of the normal world and do my fucking hippie shit. And I'm so grateful that robots don't know how to paint walls yet. and that people keep letting me do this, because then I can spend all my time talking to rivers and whatever else I gotta do. And it feels like such a privilege to live this way. And that's kind of why I feel like I gotta make stuff about it, because I know that not everybody has the free time and the mostly free time, or just like money or comfort or whatever, to fuck off and go like have some cool nature experience. So when I do get to do that, I'm like, it almost feels like a necessary part of it to come home and make something about it, so that it's something that other people can access, you know? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I guess my answer is my cool ass life.
Yeah, I like that. No, that's good. What scares you?
I'm scared that we're not gonna save the planet. I'm mostly scared that people have already decided that we can't. Like, I think there's a lot of defeatism.
I feel like Thanos already got like 4 of the stones.
Right, yeah. And it is like, don't get me wrong, it's super bad. It's like super bad. We're so fucked.
Yeah.
But David Suzuki, this British Columbian scientist, educator guy, I've heard him say, climate scientists have been warning us for years. We're coming up to a cliff. We're coming up to a cliff. It's been literally like 50, 60 years now that they've been saying we're coming up to a cliff. We're off the cliff now. We are off the cliff. But the question now is not like, okay, I guess we're just all gonna die. It's, are we gonna fall 10 feet? Or are we gonna fall 100 feet? That's where we're at now, where it's like, you can't just say like, well, we're done. We lost. Like, yeah, we're gonna blow past the projections of 3-4 degrees Celsius warming, but like, do you want to have air? Like, the coral reefs are gone. We wrecked them. But like, we're kind of at the point now where we're deciding like, is there gonna be a planet that's habitable for humans in 100 years? And it's like, you can call it quits and just be like a fucking downer about it, or we can fight for whatever's left and hopefully only fall 10 feet.
What do you hope people remember after spending time with you?
What would be really awesome is if somebody's like, wow, that person sounds like they have a really dynamic, earnest relationship with the natural world. I wonder if I could do that too.
If someone is listening while creating in their garage, studio, or bedroom, what would you tell them?
Don't make it corporate, and it's better for the thing to exist than to be good. Or for anybody to ever see it, or know famous or successful for the thing to be good. Don't ever have to get paid for the thing to be good.
What are you curious about right now?
I really have to learn how electricity works, because I'm building my new van and I don't understand that shit. So I have to learn about wiring.
Okay. What are you creating that no one has seen yet?
I'm honestly kind of in like a funk where I feel like I haven't been making anything for a while. Or anything that's like for myself. So I'm working on getting back to like a mindset where I can make stuff again. And ain't that just a project in and of itself?
Okay. If you could leave one thought in someone's creative log, what would it be?
It ain't that serious.
What would you tell younger artists?
Ain't no shame in never making money. Kind of what I said earlier, I guess. Like, don't worry about making money or getting famous. Just work on making a cool thing. Just keep making cool stuff. It doesn't matter if anybody else ever sees it. It's cool if they do. It's cool if they appreciate it. That can be exciting and gratifying, but like, that's not why you should be making stuff. You should make it because you think that the world would be cooler if it existed.